We're not taught to own our, go own our own business in school. Once again, we're taught to go to school and go work. So when I got introduced to this concept, I kept an open mind to it, and why I encourage you to do the same, because like he said, I'll keep it short, there's no more contesting VMA. Like when I got started, this thing was absolute theory. Like I got started a year and a half ago. Like there weren't people earning these type of incomes I'm going to throw out. Like there weren't people driving these type of cars. But most important, like VMA was absolute theory. But one thing I saw is the industry was proven. Like the industry's been around for hundreds and hundreds of years with like Avon and Amway, and that's the highest paid profession in the world. It did 167 billion last year. And so me as a numbers person, I saw 167 billion as a pretty big deal. And that when there's companies out there doing 10 to 12 billion with moms and grandmas like rubbing lotion on each other, it made sense for kids. Like this is the first time that's ever been put into the laps of young people, and what are we naturally good at that our parents aren't? No offense. What do we have that our parents did it back in the day with Avon? Okay, we're really, really good at sharing information, but the thing is, kids are really, really good at networking. And think about it, when we get something viral, when we make something viral, like it goes freaking viral, dude. It's like, think about Vine, how big did that blow up in like 2 weeks? Facebook blew up, Instagram blew up. So it makes sense with us to harness what we're good at, and that's why VMA makes sense right now, okay? It just taps into the young demographic a few years ago, and so what I've seen this past year and a half with VMA, there's personally nothing an individual can tell me anymore to contest it, because when a company does 90% growth, they didn't even touch on the numbers, but the company's been around for 9 years. Okay, in the first 7 years, they revenued up to $117 million in 2012. But once it hit the young demographic last year in 2013, the company just did over $221 million. So 90% in growth in this type of industry, once again, is a pretty big deal. The company produced over 50 kids under the age of 21, making 6 figures and above. Personally, myself, my best friend, and a few others within my organization. And yeah, I mean, I've helped over 60 people get into those cars, paid for by the company. So the question of whether it's working or the question of whether it's going to go to the billions, it's really not a question anymore. Okay, it's a question of how many times over, so what I recommend you guys do is, once again, wrap your head around the concept, because like I said, I understand it's different. It was way different for me, but the thing is, it made sense to where for the first time I was in complete control of my situation, like Ant said, and my outcome. Unlike everything else I was doing, think about your school, think about your job. You're told what to do, when to do it by your boss or your teacher. You're told when to go to class, when to show up to work. You're told how much you're worth, what you got on that assignment. If you don't listen to what your teacher or boss says, guess what? You're fired, you fail. And so for me, that wasn't being in control, to where in this, it's like it gives us complete freedom. I don't listen to anybody. It gives me the time freedom to do what I want, when I want. I came up here because I just wanted to come chill with my friends and do this. I do what I want, when I want, once again. But the thing is, at the end of the day, we work with our best friends. You pick who you want to work with, which I saw, it's like I already chill with my friends on a day-to-day basis regardless, either way. So why not hang out with them, change the topic of conversation from the irrelevant crap to building a business together and cashing out hard together. Because with VMA, there's no salary cap. And as an ambitious individual, if you are ambitious, like someone should be like clicking in there, because it's like with VMA, you can come into this thing and make as much money as you want or as little money as you want. It's like based off the amount of time and effort you put into it. So me as an ambitious individual, I saw and understood one thing and one thing only, that I already had these pre-established networks built. Through Facebook, I guarantee you guys all have Facebook. You probably got Instagram, probably got Twitter. I understood I was going to school with like 10,000 people. My job, just everything. I could funnel into VMA's compensation plan and cash out really, really hard. Because when I saw people doing it, it just made sense to where it's like, if they can do it, I can do it. And that's why I'm here, is that result for you guys tonight, to show you that if I can do this thing and really just make it work for myself, like you can do it too. You can just plug in, so we've already created the path. Like we already created the system that wasn't there when I got involved. So all you could literally do is plug into the system, become coachable. For me personally, I kind of destroyed my old ego from what I thought I knew about the business and became coachable to those that had the results I wanted. I met this kid named Luke Kish really quick. This kid was making $1,000 a month with VMA with no loss and no hours. And if you're brand new, ask yourself, what would that do for your situation? Whether it's a part-time income or just a second source of income, whatever it is, $1,000 a month for me at the time was a lot, because I was working for $5 an hour, I was going to school, doing the dumb stuff, whatever it was. But the thing is, I saw that kid, and the crazy part about it, he became one of my best friends over the past year and a half, and I saw him go from $1,000 a month with VMA to over $6,000 a week residually at 21 years old, and that really raised my belief level personally, because I saw him start at the bottom. Like we all start at the same exact spot in VMA. Like everybody starts at the same exact spot, but the thing is, he worked his butt to the top because he just worked harder. He worked harder than everybody else, and once again, being an ambitious kid, I saw that, to where it's like, if you work VMA, cool, it's going to work, but the harder you work, the harder it's going to work. which means the more money you make. So he worked his butt all the way to the top, to the number 22 incomer at 21 years old. So that kind of raised my belief level. Long story short, introduced me to a lot of people. This one kid that really stuck out, that introduced me, or that opened my mind to the true potential in the long term of Vima. This kid's been in for 7 years. This kid, Brad Alcazar, number 2 incomer in the company. He showed me that Vima, like they said, it's not some get rich quick, or it's not some sprints where you instantly make $100,000 a year, or instantly get into a car. It's something where if you put in a part-time, consistent effort like these guys do, it could pay you a serious income in the next 3 to 5 years, however you decide to work it. Okay, but the thing is, I saw this kid, he's been in for 7 years. Last month saw 300 G's with Vima. In 2013, he saw 3.4 million. And I don't say that the number to try to scare you and the new people, or if you are brand new tonight, I'm not here to I don't want to blow you away with that or whatever. But the thing is, I heard that and I didn't question it for anything. Because I was that type of kid throughout life that wants to make a lot of money somehow, some way, but I never had a tangible vehicle, once again, to get there. And I saw this kid with the same company, with the same compensation plan, with the same products, with the same everything, that figured it out, and I was like, if he could do it, I could do it a lot faster. And so that's what I did personally. Long story short, what it's done for me, I introduced this concept to 3 people, these products to 3 people, my 2 best friends and my brother. And through the power of networking, I didn't go door to door selling these Verve cans to hundreds of people, thousands of people. I don't do that. It's like, I'm not going to be like, yo, give me $5 for this Verve can. It's not what we do. I promoted and exposed these products to, friends of friends of friends through the power of networking. Okay, we turned 3 to over 3,500 active consumers within my organization consuming Vima, their products, Verve, protein shakes, whatever it is. And they pay me accordingly based off my network. Okay, once again, we're just building a network of people consuming Vima's products. And since they see me as that catalyst that causes those sales monthly, they pay me accordingly. And yeah, I mean, like you said, I'll be within the top 50 incomers in the next few months. I'll hit this rank that's associated with $250,000 a year, and I'm 20 years old. I don't say it to try to brag to anybody here if you are new. I'm just here to show you that I was in your shoes at one point in time hearing out this information. Yeah, it sounded crazy, yeah, it sounded nuts. But one thing I understood is that if I wanted a different result in life from what I had, I had to do something different. And these kids offered me a different vehicle to once again take me to take me from point A to point B. And so I want you to look at yourself and look at me and be like, dude, I'm a normal ass kid. I'm not up here in a suit and tie. I'm not up here in crazy ass clothes or anything like that. I'm just here to show you once again, if I can do this thing, absolutely everybody here can too. But the thing is that separates myself from you and most people is that I made the decision to do it, the decision that most people don't make. Because think about it, opportunities that come and go for everybody, and I'll end it on this. Opportunities that come and go for absolutely every single person in this world, whether it's the bum on the street, down the street, drinking a freaking 40 or something like that, or whether it's our parents, or whether it's Donald Trump. Like, every single person in this world is offered the same exact opportunities. But the thing is that determines the successful from the unsuccessful, or the unsuccessful, okay, they see these opportunities and they make excuse to why I only work for him, her, myself, but not for, a very select few, whatever it is. But the thing is, that determines the successful is they see the same exact opportunity and they make the absolute most of it. So what I try to stress is, like, yeah, my parents could have invested in Apple in the 90s. I don't know if anybody here did, but if your parents would have at least invested $500 in the 90s, you'd be worth $2.3 million right now. And the reason why I share that story is because if they made the decision for themselves to do it rather than make an excuse, you'd probably live in a completely different house, completely different lifestyle, doing completely different things. So just end it on this. If you take anything away from what I said, it's happening, it's working, and thankfully we caught it at the right place at the right time on the forefront of it. Because it makes sense to where if there's water in a desert, those that come across it first are going to do what? Drink the most of it. And same with this type of industry. Things like these don't get very big very often. But when they do and you cash it on the forefront, you pioneer it to the billions, exactly where we're at right now, you can cash out and make an absolute fortune. It's just up to you depending on, once again, if you decide to come into it and actually decide to work it. So understand your friend brought you here for a reason. We're going to kick it. We're going to chill, answer questions. We're not going to rush out of here. So if you're brand new, come up, ask us questions. If you're confused, skeptical, concerned about anything. But if not, thank you for coming. I don't want to keep talking.
One quick thing, guys. We are going to run a training in probably about 10 minutes for either new guys, people that have been in. So just to end it on that, once again, guys, thanks for coming.